The DZ4 overall build quality, we have a 3D printed shell. It's not bad. It's pretty dang comfortable and nice and light. Feels good. Feels good. Some tubes here with a surprise face emoji. Yeah, it feels nice. I don't have any problems with the build myself. It feels light and comfortable. I dig it. Ear hooks are comfortable enough. They weren't pulling the IEM out of my ears or anything. I found this to be pretty dang okay in general. Does have a slider and then terminates into a straight termination. Yeah, build quality is solid. This is a 3 dynamic driver, 1 passive radiator IEM, and the pictures look pretty dang cool. Like on the website, they actually have the IEM taken apart and you can see what it looks like inside and the tubes, and it looks cool. This is cool stuff. I like it. I think this is neat. This is innovative. This is different. I dig this. How does it sound? Sounds I have very little to complain about, honestly. If you are a mid lover, like lover of the mids, I think this is a awesome, like just an awesome option. Yeah, mid just come forward and they sound good. And like I was really trying to pick it apart. I'm like, oh, what do I not? What do I like? What do I don't like? There's not a lot I like. There's very little to hate about this IEM. It is well tuned. It sounds nice. The quality of sound is good. If I were to nitpick, I prefer just a little bit more air in the treble, just a little bit. But that's just personal preference. I prefer a little bit more bass, but that's just personal preference. Overall, this sounds awesome. This sounds stinking good. The bass is like, it's surprisingly impactful, even though it doesn't measure like it's a ton of bass. Surprisingly impactful. Nice glide into the lower mids. No scoop or anything like that. And no tuck, not like it sounds good. And then the rise into the upper mids, it's a good amount. It's not too much, not too little. It's a good amount. This kind of reminds me just a little bit of Project Red. Just a little bit. Like listening to them, there's definitely some differences, but it has some similar vibes. I do think that this has slightly better treble though, in my personal opinion. I do prefer the DZ4 treble over Project Red. That being said, when it comes to the impedance adapter, Project Red, you throw an adapter on, it boosts the bass. You throw an adapter on this, it lowers the treble. So this is one of those things, impedance curves are different for every IEM. So you don't really get that same, like with the Project Red, I like throwing a 75 ohm adapter on that thing and just having bass blast into my ears. That's what's fun about Project Red to me. This, you can't really do that. You throw a 75 ohm adapter on there, it just lowers the treble, which is fine. Now you're aware, if you throw an adapter on this, the treble gets a little bit less. That's fine. Separation is surprisingly good. Like overall, I think this IEM is just solid. I don't know what the price is. I'm going to take a wild guess and say around the $100 mark. I think this competes with something like Hexa, personally, when it comes to sound quality. This has a better bass quality to it. Hexa, I prefer the treble extension, but this has a better bass quality. So it really becomes a what's your priority thing there. It has a 2-way crossover, has tubes in there. It's a solid design. They did a good job with this. This is awesome. If this is $80, I think this is a buy. If it's over $150, yeah, it's still pretty okay. Anything over $200, I would say, nah, maybe not. I don't know. But overall, it's not bad. The case is kind of the screw-on case. It doesn't feel the best, but it's not bad. Tip selection, it comes with 2 sets of tips. Yeah, like sometimes I get into the lid on there. Yeah. Came with 2 sets of tips. They were okay. No foam tips or anything like that. But yeah, the cable is nice. I don't have any problems with the build. Like, it sounds awesome. I think this is a good IEM. I think this is actually pretty solid. It's very comfortable for me. That being said, maybe that nozzle could be a little bit wide for some. It could be. That is a thing. It is a somewhat chonky nozzle just because the tube's in there. But I don't think, like, it didn't cause me any problems. Me personally, no comfort issues. I think this is a good IEM. I think it's a good buy. Very little to complain about. Just to talk about some music really quick. It sounded really good with things like All Time Low, punk pop. It sounded awesome with country music. This sounded really, really quite good with country music. Like, especially Tim McGraw. Like, I was listening to Tim McGraw on this, and I was like, this sounds like how Tim McGraw should sound. Awesome. Uncle Kracker sounded good. Like, this does really well with, like, country music, with a lot of that rock band style music. It sounded good. I didn't have any problems with Rage Against the Machine. All around, very inoffensive. Nothing really jumped out at me and was like, like hurting me. Like, this sounds good. The only thing I didn't love with it was Run the Jewels, and it's only because I prefer more bass with Run the Jewels. That's it, really. Overall, it sounds really dang good. And yeah, very little to complain about with this IEM. Like, anything I can complain about, it's just preference based. I prefer a little bit more air. I prefer a little bit more bass. That's my only thing, and that's because that's my preferences. Yeah, if you have any questions about this IEM, leave them in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.